All right, folks, strap in. We need to have a serious talk today about what is shaping up to be, and I am not exaggerating here, the potential apex predator of the entire Natland patch cycle. I'm talking about a lineup so ridiculously stacked, so lore-heavy, that the community is collectively having a meltdown, half in sheer excitement, half in pure, unadulterated panic over their future Primogem savings. I'm referring, of course, to the dream team of Durin, Colombina, the mysterious white horse Adeptus, and Varka. Yeah, you heard that right. 4 of the most anticipated characters in the game's history, all lined up back-to-back. Some players are already calling this the premium team. Others, and I think this one is a bit more accurate, are calling it financial annihilation. But no matter what name you give it, everyone is agreeing on one core idea. If the current leaks hold even a fraction of their weight, this composition is an absolute monster in the making. And before we dive headfirst into the speculation zone, a quick but crucial disclaimer. All of this is based on unconfirmed data mines and early leaks from sources like hakush.in and Top Up Live. Things can and will change before these characters hit the live servers. But with Duran's full kit now circulating across multiple reputable channels, we finally have enough puzzle pieces to start seeing the bigger, and frankly, terrifying picture. Buy 6,480 Genesis crystals with the 6.0 limited pack for only $79 at lootbar.gg. Returning users can also grab an extra coupon for up to 5% off. The link is in the description. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with the absolute centerpiece of this whole operation, Durin. You know, the legendary dragon now reborn in a human form as a 5-star pyro sword user. According to the leaks, his entire kit revolves around this incredibly cool dual form mechanic with these super philosophical names: affirmation of whitening and negation of darkness. Here's how it supposedly works. When you use his elemental skill, binary formula fusion refinement, he gets to choose between these two states, and this choice completely changes what his elemental burst does. It's not just a simple damage buff, it's a total identity shift. In his whitening state, Durin transforms into this pyro-themed super buffer. He summons a white flame dragon that just hovers around the field, dealing off-field pyro damage while handing out massive team-wide bonuses. We're talking increased elemental damage, and some leaks are even suggesting possible resistance penetration. That's a huge deal. But if you flip the script and choose his negation of darkness state, he goes full unga-bunga offense. He becomes this hyper-aggressive on-field DPS, with leaks mentioning DEF ignoring hits, massive single-target multipliers, and a powerful AoE burst. So right off the bat, you can see Duran isn't your straightforward one-note main DPS like a Liney or a Hu Tao. He's a true hybrid. He can either lead the damage rotation himself, or he can switch to a supportive stance and turn your entire team into unstoppable gods. It's almost like Hoyoverse looked at a character like Farina and said, let's make a pyro version, but give him a dragon aesthetic and way more flexibility. That duality alone makes him the perfect anchor for a complex, multi-element reaction team. Now, enter the enigmatic Fatui Harbinger, Colombina. The leaks are pointing towards her being a hydro character, likely a polearm or catalyst user. Her whole thematic is wrapped up in music and moonlight, with ability names like Song of the Hollow Moon and mechanics involving a lunar wheel. This is where things get ridiculously spicy. If these lunar clauses in her kit are real, she might have the ability to amplify specific elemental reactions based on what elements are in your party. And that, my friends, is where the synergy with Duran becomes absolutely insane. Imagine Durin's off-field pyro application from his white flame dragon, combined with Colombina's continuous pulsing hydro damage from her off-field song. What do you get? A near-constant machine gun stream of vaporized reactions. This is basically the Fontaine reaction meta we know and love, but cranked up to 11 thanks to Durin's buffing states. Together, they're forming what theory crafters are already dubbing the Lunar Core, a pyro-hydro duo that completely dominates reaction uptime. But every powerful core needs a perfect support to enable it, and that's where our third puzzle piece comes in. The newly revealed White Horse Adeptus, currently slated for version 6.3. The leaks describe her as an animo support, and she seems to be deeply tied to themes of the moon and time itself, which, let me tell you, has the lore fans absolutely losing their minds. This isn't just some random new Adeptus. The community is speculating she might be the literal daughter of time mentioned in old Liyue books, and even teased in Yanfei's latest voiceovers. Mechanically, she appears to be a grouping and buffing support in the vein of a Kazuha or Sucrose, but with a potential game-changing twist. People are suspecting she might introduce a new mechanic called Lunar Swirl. This could extend the duration of elemental reactions or enhance elemental damage whenever multiple lunar-affiliated characters are on the field. And if that's true, it ties directly into Colombina's Moonlight theme and amplifies Durin's dual-state system. The synergy is just chef's kiss. So, let's paint the picture of a full team rotation. You start with the white horse Adeptus. She groups up all the enemies, applies her Anemo Swirl, shredding their elemental resistance and setting up the playing field. Then, you quickly switch to Colombina, drop her off-field Hydro Song, tagging everyone with constant Hydro application. Next up is Durin. You pop his elemental skill, choose the Affirmation of Whitening State to become the team buffer, trigger a bunch of Vaporize reactions, and summon his White Flame Dragon to start its off-field assault. And finally, you bring in the grand finale, Varka himself, the long-awaited Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius. The leaks are now strongly suggesting he will be an Anemo unit as well. That's right, a second Anemo powerhouse on the team. But he's not expected to be a pure swirl DPS like the Wanderer. Instead, he's rumored to be a heavy-hitting Claymore user who blends physical and Anemo damage. And he might even have scaling that synergizes with this new Lunar Swirl mechanic. So, after looking at all of this, is it fair to call this the top team of the Nodcry era? Honestly, yeah, it's looking that way. It's not confirmed, of course, but on paper, this is the most synergistic and forward-designed lineup we've seen in a long time. These characters aren't just four strong individuals. They're clearly built from the ground up around the same reaction philosophy. Heavy elemental damage multipliers, resistance penetration buffs, and these overlapping lunar reaction systems. If their final numbers are even halfway decent, this team could easily eclipse the best compositions from Fontaine. But with all this hype, we have to keep a level head. We've seen these premium meta cycles before, remember? When Furina, Nouvelette, and Riothasley were leaked, everyone thought they were going to break the game, and they did, for a while. But power creep always finds a way to catch up. So, if you're a free-to-play or a low spender, my genuine advice is to pick your absolute favorites and wait for reruns. Trying to chase every single member of this squad back-to-back is a one-way ticket to financial ruin. Still, from a pure game design standpoint, you have to admit this is genius. Each unit perfectly represents a piece of a new elemental puzzle. You have Durin's pyro reaction engine, Colombina's hydro melodies, the Adeptus' time wind mechanics, and Varka's raw Anemo strength. It feels like Hoyoverse is doing another Archon-level synergy cycle. But this time, the theme isn't divine authority, it's lunar and Adeptus mythology. Whether this team ends up truly dominating the meta, or just becomes the ultimate collector's flex squad will all come down to final tuning. But you can't deny how perfectly it all connects, both in gameplay and in the deep lore of Teyvat. So, I have to turn it over to you now. What do you think? Are you already saving your Primo gems for all four of these characters? Or are you looking at your wallet and already crying? Do you think the White Horse Adeptus will actually bring Lunar Swirl to the game? Or will she end up being more of a Kazuha 2.0? Let me know your thoughts, your theories, and your copium levels down in the comments below, because this discussion is only going to get more intense as we get closer to version 6.3. And as always, if you enjoy these deep dives where we mix the latest leaks, lore analysis, and meta insight, don't forget to support the channel by dropping a like and subscribing for more updates as the Nodcry story continues to unfold. Buy 6,480 Genesis crystals with the 6.0 limited pack for only $79 at lootbar.gg. Returning users can also grab an extra coupon for up to 5% off. The link is in the description.